Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, I'm Sevina Meilani, and now I would like to presentation my proposal by the title, The Effect of English Comic Webtoon Teaching on Students' Reading Comprehension During Pandemic COVID-19. During the COVID-19 pandemic, almost all activities in all sectors were disrupted, including the education sectors that involves teachers with students expressing change in the teaching and learning process. Previously, the teacher and student carry out teaching and learning activities or face-to-face in the classroom. However, in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic, all teaching and learning activities are carried out online without face-to-face. This learning can only be done remotely with a communication tool and media, both visual and audiovisual. The development of information and communication technology is supported by internet facilities that can facilitate the public in the process of interacting. The internet is a satellite network that functions as a complete information service. This can be the occurrence of a virtual media that makes business-based, educational media, politics, and even entertainment. One of them is the internet as an educational medium, in which the teaching and learning process can be done online by providing teaching materials that can be accessed, stored, and shared in digital content. One of the teaching materials that can be provided for learning in the webtoon. Identification and limitation of the problem is based on the background of the problem. The researcher has observation at State Madrasah Aliyah 1 Lampung Tengah. The researcher asked and collect the data about reading score student, and he said that many problems in learning English, not only in reading comprehension but also in writing, listening, and speaking. Therefore, scores that students get in reading is 7.0 from standard score is 7.0. According to the teacher, it is happened because students still feel difficult in reading, and many students less in reading English because they don't interest in reading, don't understand about the text, and difficult to get the meaning from the text. Based on the identification of the problem, the researcher want to limit the research of the study. The researcher focus on population on the 10th grade students and will use the instrument of reading test, and researcher also will limit the level of students' reading comprehension on literal comprehensions. The formulation of the problem is there any significant effect of using English comic webtoon on student reading comprehension? And the objective of the research is to know the effect of using English comic webtoon on student reading comprehension. Significance of the research is the result of the study can provide useful information for English teacher. The result of this study will recommend an innovative teaching media and a wonderful learning environment, especially in teaching reading. And this research to provide feedback for teacher that may be useful to recognize students' difficulties in reading comprehension. For students, the result of this study will give a new experience and also can to motivate students in reading comprehension, being interested and graded digitally. And by this study, students are able to improve their reading skill in a fun way, while students can be active in reading. In addition, the researcher helpful can help students to improve their reading ability. And the method of this research was quantitative method, a common situation for implementing quasi-experimental study involves several classes or schools that can use to determine the effect or curricular materials of teaching method. The researcher give treatment comic webtoon media for experimental group, and the researcher not give special treatment for control group. In this study, webtoon media was the independent variable which may cause or influence students' reading comprehension ability in reading text as the dependent variable. Okay, that's all my presentation about my proposal. And last I say, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.